If you run a board game cafe, or you just have some friends who aren't really gamers, then odds are some of your games are too complicated for your customers or your friends. So today on How to Snakes, we tackle one possible solution on how to deal with games that are overly complicated. Some games are complicated with good reason. Other games, however, they have just one or two little additions, components, or rules that make the game tricky to learn or fiddly to play, just enough that they are going to scare off a lot of potential players who would otherwise really enjoy those games. When we find one of those games, we like to edit it. If we can, we remove that component or remove that rule to make the game easier to learn and more accessible for everybody. In part 2 of the teaching, I talked about Carcassone's fields and how you can leave them out of your initial teach with a group of people and bring it back in if they decide they want to play it again. Another great game for staggered teaches is Pit. It is a blast to play without the bull and the bear cards, and so that's the way we teach it to most people. Now, if a table is enjoying it so much that they play it 2 or 3 times in a row, that's when we will suggest that they learn how to play the full game with the bull and the bear involved. Lots of games do this on their own. They have components or rules that they recommend as advanced. Things like Quarto, Dead Man's Draw, Flashpoint, Cash and Guns. So what we do is we will edit out those advanced components and only keep them in the box if we feel that they are absolutely the best and only way to play that game. Some party games get components axed from them completely to make them better for our particular cafe environment. Cranium, for example, has a Play-Doh-like substance that you use for their Sculptorades challenges. We have removed all the Sculptorades cards and the sculpting dough because at the rate our games get played, that dough gets really unusable really quickly. There's nothing wrong with the Sculptorades challenges, they're awesome, but nobody wants that kind of funky goo to play with. Similarly, Quelf has had a lot of its physical challenges removed because nobody wants someone going into the bathroom and bringing a toilet plunger back to their table where food gets served. Now, some games, like the Resistance, come with components that we remove because we think that without them, the game actually plays a little better. Which components are those? The voting tokens. Sure, some people like the secret voting, but in our experience, the game is more fun and more interesting when you can actually see how players have voted, and you can use that information to decide who's going on the next team or how you want to vote for the next team. We just give a thumbs up for a yes, a thumbs down for a no. Editing out game components also means that the setup and the teardown goes a lot quicker, which is very handy in the cafe environment. And it means that we have fewer pieces to lose, which is a huge deal. So, do you have components that you leave out when you're teaching a game to people for the first time? Or do you have components that you just leave out entirely? Tell us about it in the comments below. Oh, the video's over, I know, but there's no reason to be bummed because there's still lots of ways you can interact with it. You can hit the like button, you can leave a comment, you can hit the subscribe button. Yeah, it's not over yet, not really. Now, there are 4 things that we look for when dealing with complicated games, and I don't remember any of them at the moment.